Okay, welcome back. John Best here with McKinley Kate. We're going to announce the quarterfinals of the K1 men's here in Columbus for World Cup 1 on Ambush. Hope you guys are enjoying the competition so far. So we have 4 heats of men. The first paddler up in this heat is Wright from the States, and then we have Ryosuke Tamaji from Japan, Kenji Handa from Japan, Pomeroy from Canada, and the one and only EJ Eric Jackson from the USA up in this first heat. So it's a beautiful sunny day out here in Columbus. In fact, every day's been like this. Apparently it's autumn, it's the fall out here, but if you're from the UK, this is definitely summer weather. This is real beautiful. McKinley, would you say this is classed as the fall now, right, for you guys?
It is, it is. It's actually a bit cold.
She says as I'm in a full summer outfit. Okay, so first paddler up in this heat will be Wright. Followed by a couple of Japanese paddlers. Always a good showing from the Japanese. Ryosuke Tamaji, Kenji Handa, those guys have been training out here for quite some time now, trying to get this feature dialed in. It's a very different feature, this one, to World Cup 2, which will be Good Wave, which is downstream, about a mile or so downstream from here. So that's actually where the World Championships will be held next year. It will be on Good Wave, and that will be the prelims for World Cup 2 will be starting on Friday. Also in this heat we have Pomeroy from Canada. He's kind of a big wave specialist, so he's a big fan of stakeout. So if you Instagram him, you'll see some pretty big moves. I think he'll be looking forward to the competition on Good Wave. And then our last paddler in this heat is Eric Jackson. He needs no introduction. EJ will be paddling his brand new rebound kayak. So that's now in production, I believe.
We do have live results. Go to canoe-ICF.com. You can follow along on your smartphone here. We're going to read results as best we can, so everyone knows what's going on. Here's the 2020 Columbus World Cup 1 at Ambush.
So after the men's prelims, we'll have a short break, and then we will proceed with the semi-finals, I believe, of the women. And McKinley, you're in that, right?
I just competed in the juniors.
Oh, you're juniors, of course you are. Sorry, yeah, my bad. That's scary because, yeah, when you move up into the women's category, those guys have got some competition coming their way for sure. Okay, here we go. Eyes on Wright for his first run of the quarterfinals. This will be 20 paddlers dropping down to 10.
Clay dropping in, going in for the clean blunt. Setting up, going for his next trick. Going in for the blunt the other direction. Going in for the back blunt. Spinning in, going in for the back blunt the other direction. Possibly going for the Pan Am. Then going in for the air screw. And right on the buzzer, going in for a massive air loop. Then going for McNasty after the buzzer. Nice ride from Wright.
Yeah, real nice ride, making most of the 45 seconds he has there. The nice thing about this feature is that you'll see a combination of wave and hole moves. So you'll see paddlers going for air loops and McNasties and Space Godzillas, and also like entry threes, which is kind of the entry McNasty move as well, which is quite unique really for a feature to be able to see those hole moves, but also things like air screws and Pan-Ams.
Yeah, it's super cool.
And this is your local spot, right?
This is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so exciting to see everyone out here trying all their tricks in my home features.
Okay, so up next from Japan we have Ryosuke Tamaji. So we'll see on the board there 486 points for Clay. Until that goes green, that will be the judges will need to confirm that before the next paddler goes. We see him there plugging for that beautiful aerial front loop. We'll have to see if the judges scored huge on that one. Scores going up, look, to 500. Also nice but nasty there, and that's just the flush there, but that was right on the buzzer as well. You see, he was pretty pleased with that ride. Just dropped back down to 490, so it'll be around that sort of 490, 500 mark for Clay. His first ride. So 50% of these paddlers will be going through to the semi-finals. So basically these...
All right, Clay's ride just finalized, 490 points.
490, yeah, nice. Okay. Here we go. Ryosuke Tamaji. Traveling down towards ambush.
Dropping in the feature, surfing around, getting a good setup, taking his time, going in for the air screw, landing it nice and straight. Going in for the air screw the other direction, sticking the feature. Coming in, possibly looking for the back blunt. Going in for the back blunt the other direction, getting all the points on the board. Going in for the pack Pan-Am. Spinning it around.
Okay, nice, yeah. Solid first ride there. We'll see the... okay, we haven't got the scores up, the live scores up on the screen, so perhaps a slight technical problem there, but we'll see. The guys will be working hard to try and fix that. He did have his 45-second ride, so there's a backup in terms of the timer. If the big screen isn't working, there is a whistle as well for the timer. So they will have their full rides. We'll have to wait and see what's going on with the live scores. But up next, also from Japan, his fellow teammate Kenji Handa, who has been down here training really hard for this competition. I've actually seen Kenji go from getting his, flushing on what we'd probably say would be a donkey flip, to then actually retaining air screws. So he's been improved as he's been training here, which is awesome to see. So good luck to Kenji, and he's up next. So, okay, here we go. So the scores are up. It was about 286 points, I believe, for Ryosuke's first ride.
We're still waiting for his ride to be finalized. All right, his ride just came in with 286 points.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Eyes upstream for his teammate Kenji Handa, also from Japan. Let's see if he can get these air screws that he's been working so hard to master this week.
Dropping into the feature, getting surfed around. Going in for the blunt. Going in for the blunt the other direction. Spinning it around, getting set up again. Going in for the back blunt, possibly clean. Going in for the air screw. Going for the air screw the other direction, maintaining the feature.
Yeah, nice first ride by Kenji there. So it looked like he was going to be around over 300 points. He's pretty happy with that. So he's going for the air screws both ways. They may have scored donkey flips because it wasn't quite aerial enough, maybe. We're not the judges. We'll have to see what the judges think to them, and that will be reflected in his score that will be popping up very soon. Up next from Canada, Luke Pomeroy. Yeah, Luke can rip it up on waves. I think it's fair to say he's probably favours a wave over a hole.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, score just came in with 343 points.
Yeah, good, solid ride.
Next up, we have Luke Pomeroy all the way from Canada. Dropping into the feature, just got the thumbs up from the head judge. Going in straight for the air screw, landing it perfectly straight. Going for the air screw the other direction. Getting set up, not wasting any time. Going in for the back blunt. Going for the back blunt the other direction. Going in for the blunt McNasty possibly.
Just flushing off on that blunt McNasty attempt. You know, Luke would have been watching the guys yesterday that came in the top 10, and they're all throwing down, you know, blunt McNasties. We may have heard him being called KYs as well, so he's going to want to be getting a few of those in on his ride to make top 10. Looks like a possible flip turn there.
Going in for the blunt McNasty. Oh, just quite flushing.
Okay, solid start to Luke's ride there. Some nice air screws both directions, and then some real nice back blunts in both directions. I think it was just the blunt McNasty when he flushed there, and you take a flush, you know, on this feature, it's real hard to get back up into the feature. And even if when you do, you're pretty tired from that paddle, that battle back up the eddy to get back into the feature. So it's a tough one then to throw down the harder tricks. But seeing the slow-mo there, real nice air screw. So yeah, Luke is local to the Ottawa Valley, so there's no wonder he's good on features like this.
Score just finalized 468 points for Luke Pomeroy. Nice ride.
Nice. Okay, so currently in the lead on this round is Clay Wright with 490. Luke moves into the second place position with 468. Kenji Handa in third with 343. Ryosuke Tamaji in fourth with 286, and yet still to paddle is EJ Eric Jackson as he drops in. Here we go.
Dropping into the feature, going in for his first trick, maybe a Pan Am, into a couple ends. Going back for the back blunt, back Pan Am. setting up, going it for the other direction, still maintaining the feature.
Now, one of the things here that they hadn't noticed is when they see their score. Here, it's much more wonderful. They can look across and see, but they can't quite see.
Going in for the back Pan Ams both ways. Setting up, going for a loop. Going in for another blunt right on the timer.
Yeah, EJ, one of the most retentive paddlers you'll ever watch in freestyle features. It's not often that EJ flushes, so he makes the most of the time that he has on the feature. Even after the buzzer, getting a few little practice moves in there. 480 points for EJ's first ride.
Ooh, the score's going up.
Yeah, nice. So he's just looking to get over vertical for the back Pan Am, which is going to be a trick that the guys are going to be wanting to pull off in these quarterfinals in both directions, ideally. And it's something you're also going to see on Good Wave for World Cup 2. You see EJ there just throwing his head back and up to try and get that boat to go over vertical for the back Pan Am to score. Okay, as we move back up to the top of the order with Clay Wright. Okay, so after the first ride, EJ's first ride score puts him in the top spot at 513 points. But here we go, Clay. 490 was his first ride.
He has been representing that American flag for a long time, and he is going to show you just why.
Dropping in with the new 5. Going in there for a clean blunt. Then going for a back blunt right after. Going for the back blunt the other direction. Just going off the feature. But still catching the surfer's right eddy. Paddling up super hard. 15 seconds left to see what Clay can do for us. Going in for the big loop. Just unfortunately flushing.
Okay, so that was it for Clay's second ride. These guys have a throwaway ride, really, because it's 3 rides and the best 2 will count in these quarterfinals. So I think Clay will want to use that as his throwaway ride. So we'll have one more ride to go after that. So combined with Clay's first ride, 600 points on the board puts him back to the top, but obviously we have another 4 paddlers to go in this heat as well. Up next we have Ryosuke Tamaji again from Japan.
Dropping into the feature. Surfing around, make sure he's at the good part of the feature. Going in for an air screw, possible donkey flip. Going in the other direction. Going in for the back blunt. Surfing around, going for the other back blunt. Maybe going in for a back Pan Am. Then going in for a blunt, spinning it around. Going in for the blunt the other direction, not wasting any time.
Yeah, just a flush off the wave there, right on the buzzer. So you shouldn't be too upset about that, because it was a good solid second ride for Ryosuke. This feature's it is challenging. It's quite slow, so you have to generate your own power on the feature. And by all means, you could. The feature does allow you to generate some pop but sometimes, you know, you have to kind of surf around and wait for that. But during competition rides, you haven't really got that time. 45 seconds isn't a lot of time to be able to get the moves in, especially as we progress through the competition, through these quarters, semis, and then finals. So you really have to throw down as soon as you hit the feature, and that means you have to generate your own pop. So it's no mean feat with these guys throwing the boats around like they are. It's hard work. Okay, second Japanese paddler in this first heat of the men's quarterfinals is Kenji Handa.
Dropping into the ambush wave, surfing around, going in for a blunt right off the back, then going in for a blunt the other direction. Spinning around, going in for a back blunt. Going for a possible air screw. Setting up, maybe going for a loop, not quite getting the bow down. Spinning around, maybe going for McNasty. Last couple seconds.
Okay, that'll be it for Kenji's second ride. Not quite as good as his first. He knows he can do better, so his third ride he'll want to show us that. He'll be thinking this will be his throwaway ride. That's a nice thing about the quarterfinals is you get that extra ride, which is takes the pressure off slightly, but then, you know, 20 paddlers down to 10. You need to be in that top 10 if you want a place in the semi-finals. Up next in this heat we have Luke Pomeroy from Canada. So Luke's first ride, he had a real good start to his first ride. He had air screws both ways, back blunts or back Pan-Ams, maybe even one of them, and then he went for the blunt McNasty and unfortunately just flushed off, and then he kind of at that point it looked like he maybe lost his rhythm a little bit. So let's see what he's got for us on this run, because you know we've all seen great things from Luke. Let's see what he can do.
Big smile on Luke's face. Going in for the air screw. Air screw the other direction, right off the back. Going in for the maybe back blunt. Going in for the back blunt the other direction. Back blunting again. Surfing around, going for a back Pan-Am.
Possible flick turn, maybe.
Pan-Am. Surfing around. Let's see what Luke's going to go for us next. Going in for the blunt McNasty again. Still maintaining the feature. See what the judges give him for that.
Yeah, it looks like already the points are going up from Luke's first ride, 490. So 2 consistent rides there, no flush for Luke, which is good. It's got to give him more confidence going in for his third ride. You see a real nice air screw technique there from Luke, super retentive. We'll have to see if the judges scored one of his back Pan-Ams. It looked like that was the one that would potentially score back Pan-Am. The judges here are using they're using remote scoring, so the feature's actually right out in the middle of the river, so it's not close to the bank at all, which means that the judges are scoring from a screen in real time. So they're hardwired into a network here, which is the first time this has been done in an ICF competition. And so far, so good. So you know, that opens up huge opportunities going forward for freestyle if we want to look at using some features that are less accessible. Okay, Luke Pomeroy's second ride coming in at 5:10, which combined gives him 9.78. That's solid for Luke. Okay, last paddler to go in this heat for their second rides, and it goes back to the top of the order again, is the one and only EJ.
EJ giving us all a peace sign.
EJ wants to show us what his new kayak can do.
Dropping into the feature, going for a nice blunt, going straight into a back blunt. Surfing around in that new kayak. Going in for a back Pan Am. Back Pan Am the other way. Nice sticking the feature. Going in for a back blunt. Just missing the feature.
An unfortunate flush from EJ. He is gunning back up the feature. He has an amazing forward paddling technique, EJ. He will cut across, looking for the front loop on the buzzer. He initiates and retains it. Now, whether that initiation was before the buzzer, on the buzzer, after the buzzer, only the judges will know. And then the score will reflect that. But yeah, incredible to get back in with only a few seconds left and still been able to plug for a front loop. So around 288 points, perhaps 300 points for EJ's second ride. So leading the pack at the moment is Luke Pomeroy with 978 points, which is pretty solid. Remember, there's another 3 heats of men still to go as well. Okay, so here we go, back to the top of the order for their third and finals runs in the quarterfinals here. Wright from the USA.
Clay dropping into the ambush wave, going in for a nice clean blunt into a back blunt. Going in for a blunt the other direction, paddling super hard, still sticking the feature, going in for the clean blunt. Then going in for a back blunt. Let's see what Clay can show us for his last ride. Going in for an air screw. Staying in the feature. Going in for a loop. And going in for a lunar.
Yeah, Clay putting it all down there in that third ride. Clay's currently sitting in third spot with 600 points. We'll have to see if this third ride was a higher scoring ride than his second, because I think his first ride was the highest of the 3 rides that he's scored so far. So let's see what this third ride comes in at.
The slow-mo showing his fancy clean blunts and his air screw.
Going for the front loop there, real nice and retentive. Okay, so up next for his third and final ride from Japan, Ryosuke Tamaji.
Just got the thumbs up from the head judge. Let's see what he has for us for his final ride. Just hit the ambush wave, surfing around.
He is in the feature and the timer is going. He's
Going in for the air screw.
full big air screw, staying in the feature. He knows
Going in for the air screw the other way, still sticking the feature.
beautiful air screw the other direction.
And going in for a back blunt. Surfing around, looking for his next trick, going in for another back blunt. Going in for a back Pan Am, making sure he gets every single trick. Surfing around and doing a McNasty right on the buzzer, but unfortunately flushing.
Yeah, okay, that'll be time for Ryosuke Tamaji. So, McKinley, yesterday in the prelims for the men's, in 10th place was Caleb Grady with 1,400 points. So, going off yesterday's scores, if you're going to want to make top 10, this is basing it on if those top 10 scores from yesterday are pretty similar, then to make the top 10, to make the semi-finals, you're going to be looking at wanting to score around the 1,400 point mark. So if you have a look on the screen now, we can see Luke Pomeroy sitting in 978 points. He's looking at about 400 points off the mark, but it doesn't mean to say that the scores will be as high as yesterday. They could be slightly lower, so we'll have to see. But usually, going off the prelim scores, then it's a good indicator of where you have to be to make the semis. So
Have the next Japanese dropping into the feature. Going in for a nice, beautiful blunt.
yeah, this is Kenji Handa.
Going in for the blunt the other direction. Getting an unfortunate edge, but still sticking the feature. Going in for a back blunt. Surfing around, going in for the blunt the other direction. Spinning it around, getting all the points. Just 5 seconds left, going in for a nice, beautiful air screw. Still sticking the feature. Going in for the air screw the other direction.
Yeah, nice. Nice third ride from Kenji. Okay. Our next paddler, Luke Pomeroy, now he's the guy at the moment currently sitting in the top spot. He's leading the pack in this first heat of men quarterfinals. Luke, if he wants a place in the semis, he's going to want to have to put down in this on this third ride. With the cut yesterday, top 10, 1,400 points. So he's a little way off those points at the moment, but he still has his last and final ride to go.
Yeah, let's see what Luke can throw down for us. Dropping into the feature, going in straight for an air screw. Air screw the other direction. Going for the blunt McNasty, just missing the feature.
Yeah, I think Luke, these guys have access to the live scores as well, so he would have looked and seen that, where he currently is sitting. So he'd have to put down some blunt McNasties for sure, and that's what he went for. Just unlucky flush on that one.
He's finding his way up to the eddy, up to the feature, going in for the blunt McNasty possibly, and throwing it around.
Oh. Okay, Luke. Yeah, he wanted that blunt McNasty. He put that move in all three of his rides, and some of them went, some were retained, and some unfortunately just flushed off. And that's freestyle kayaking for you. Got 45 seconds to go fit these high scoring moves in, and on this feature is quite demanding. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of power, and also precision as well. And Luke, he's awesome. He's got his air screws down for sure. I wonder if that one may have scored a Pan Am as the bow just caught there. But a good display from Luke Pomeroy from Canada. it looks like he'll be keeping the scores from his first 2 rides, so totaling 978 points. The last paddler in this first heat in the quarterfinals is Eric Jackson. So let's see what EJ can put down in his 3rd and final ride here, guys.
Eric blowing kisses to all the crowd, dropping into the feature, going straight in for a nice blunt, going in for a back Pan Am, trying to get all his tricks left and right, going in for a nice Pan Am to the other direction, surfing around, seeing what trick he can get next, going in for a nice back blunt, spinning it around, going in for a back Pan Am. Nice sting maintained in the feature. Just about 5 seconds left, going in for the loop, but hitting the curler. See if he can get it up there and throw one more trick before the buzzer goes off. Nice 3rd ride from EJ.
Yeah, okay, that'll be time for EJ. He's obviously working the tail on the rebound there because he was throwing some real nice back blunts, back Pan Ams. And this is EJ's signature design there, the checkered back. Apparently taken off the Vans design he's been wearing since the 70s.
Very stylish.
Very stylish, yep. Really nice back Pan Am there from EJ on the slow-mo. Okay, so 530, 540 points and counting for EJ. That 3rd ride may have been better than his 2nd, so I think it'll be his 1st and 3rd ride that will be his highest scoring rides. Let's see where that puts him in the rankings for that first heat yeah, okay, that puts him straight up into 1st place on that first heat with over 1,000 points, 1,056 points. Okay, so that is it for our first heat of men. We are going to move on to the 2nd heat. 5 paddlers again in this heat. We have from Poland, Bartosz. We have from Great Britain, Nathan Hefford. This is actually Nathan's first international competition, so he's made it into the quarterfinals, which is awesome to see. We also have Harry Price, who came 2nd in the World Championships in Nottingham earlier this year, so Harry can throw down for sure. From France, no stranger to freestyle, Tom Dahl. And from Finland as well, always present at freestyle competitions, always throwing down, Visa Ricola. So we have a strong heat of men here coming up. So the cut yesterday for the top 10 was around 1,400 points. These 20 paddlers will be cutting to 10. So if we use that as a guide, you're going to be wanting to score around that kind of 1,400 point mark to make it into the top 10, we think. So let's see how these guys get on in this 2nd heat. So we have a so we have a 10-minute break now, guys. We have to stick to the timings here. So we have a heat time, start time of 2:20, but that's local Georgia time. So that gives us a 10-minute break before we commence the 2nd heat of men's. So we'll be joining you guys again very soon for more action down here at Ambush World Cup 1. Peace out.
Bye.
Okay, so we're a couple of minutes away from continuing with the men's quarterfinals here at the World Cup in Columbus, Georgia. And we're at the ambush feature, which is the first feature of the World Cup competition, which is a pretty cool whole wave feature. It's possible to do pretty much most freestyle moves in this feature. We've seen air screws, we've seen Pan Ams, we've seen McNasties, aerial front loops, Space Godzillas, a real mix of moves in here, which is really cool to see. This second heat, we'll see Bartosz Chałderna from Poland. We'll see Nathan Hefford from Great Britain. We'll see Harry Price from Great Britain. We'll see Tom Doll from France and Visa Ricola from Finland battling out here for a place in the semi-finals. So 20 paddlers drop down to 10. These guys have 3 rides. Their best 2 rides will count. So John Best and McKinley Kate Hargrove
Hi.
joining you guys here from a very sunny Columbus. And we are going to start things off with Bartosz from Poland.
Bartosz starting off the second heat. Dropping into the feature. Going in straight for an air screw. Surfing around, trying not to waste any time. Going in for the air screw the other direction. Spinning it around. Going in for another possible air screw. Going in for the back blunt. Surfing it around, going in for the back blunt the other direction. Going in for the blunt, maybe McNasty linked into it. Going for the McNasty and maintaining the feature. Going for the McNasty right on the buzzer and maintaining the feature. We'll see what the judges give him for that.
Yeah, I think that may have been just out, perhaps. We'll have to see. But, you know, it's a good, solid first ride from Bartosz. So Bartosz yesterday qualified in 14th place. 15th place, sorry. And his 2 rides combined that he had yesterday scored about around 1,000 points. So Bartosz being really pretty consistent out here, because that first ride looking like around 500, he's going to want to put down, you know, a 800 point ride, possibly if he's wanting to earn a place in the semi-finals. So we will move on to our next paddler, Nathan Hefford from Great Britain. This is Nathan's first international competition. He's been training at Home Pierpont in Nottingham, England, which hosted the World Championships early this year. And Nathan did really well in that competition. And he's got a real nice entry move and some really nice blunt McNasties, and also air screws as well. So he's one to watch for sure. Let's see what he can do for us in this quarterfinals. Nathan Hefford, here we go.
Nathan dropping into the ambush wave. Surfing around, getting set up. Going in for a nice air screw. Sticking the feature. Going in for a blunt. Going in for the air screw the other way. Going in for the blunt McNasty. Just unfortunately flushing. But he's going to work as hard as he can to get back into the feature, as he has 5 seconds left.
Yeah, okay, that's time for Nathan. That's not the ride that he wanted. It's not the ride that he that we've seen from Nathan. He knows he can do better than that. We all know he can do better than that. So that might be his throwaway ride. Nathan's, you can see how snappy he is with those air screws, and unfortunately he flushed on the Blunt McNasty, which cost him quite a lot of time on that ride. So he has 2 more rides to go. The next paddler in this heat is Harry Price from Great Britain. Harry is a silver medalist at the World Championships in Nottingham. Yeah, Harry can put down for sure. So Bartosz's first ride was finalised at 485 points. Currently sitting in 6th place, but that's only after 1 ride. Okay, here we go, Mr. Harry Price.
Harry in going for the entry 2. Getting set up, going in for the air screw, very snappy. Surfing it around, going in for the air screw the other direction. Going in for a loop, trying to get the high scoring tricks. Blunt McNasty going for Blunt McNasty the other direction, just unfortunately flushing. I think he's going to wave it off for his first run.
Yeah, that's it for Harry's first ride. 650, yeah, 630 dropping there. You can see the scores going up and down, back up to 658. Definite air screws, real nice. That entry wing over there, real clean body out, the head body out of the water, real nice. Still scores an entry 2, I believe. Maybe not actually. It could have been an entry 3. It's a good, solid first ride from Harry. 10th place yesterday in the qualifiers. The score was 1,400 points, so we're using that as a bit of a guide, really. Sitting in the top spot at the moment after his 2 rides. Is EJ, he's still leading the pack. Right, Harry's score there, 645 points. So he has, remember, he has another 2 rides, a throwaway ride, so he'll want to improve on his next 2 rides. Up next from France, Tom Dahl.
Yeah, Harry Price's score coming in with 655 points. Next up, we have Tom Dole from France, coming in with the colorful kayak, going in for an entry move, maybe going for a blunt right there. Oh, an air screw, still maintaining the feature. Going in for the air screw the other direction. Setting up, going for a nice clean blunt into a back blunt. Going in for a back blunt the other way. Just catching a flush, but he's going to paddle as hard as he can to get back up. Coming back in, going for a loop on the buzzer, but not quite getting his bow down.
Yeah, Tom knows he can throw down in competition. Tom is he came 9th in the World Championships in K1, but he also competes in C1 as well. And he's a former junior world champion. So Tom could show us what he can do out here. He wants a place in the semis for sure. So yeah, Tom only had just arrived here a few days ago, and with the rest of the French team. So maybe got a couple of rides practice in before he's thrown into the lion's den here on ambush. Okay, so next up from Finland we have Visa Rakola.
Number 29 dropping into the wave. Going in for a nice clean blunt. Coming in, going for the clean blunt the other way. Going in for a back blunt, then into an air screw. Going in for the Pan Am, pulling it around nicely. Going in for the air screw the other way. Going in for a nice back Pan Am. Going for a blunt McNasty. See if he can make it. Nice. Going in for a blunt McNasty right on the buzzer.
Wow. Yeah, solid first ride from Visa there. Wow, that's a really good ride. I mean, Visa's no stranger to competition because you know he's been 3 times Finnish champion. In 2021, he was 7th in the Europeans. He came 13th at the last World Championships in Nottingham. You know, Visa wants a place in the semi-finals for sure, and that's what it's about. Really, is getting through the rounds. Everyone, of course, wants to make finals. Everyone wants to win. But you've got to play the game. And for these guys, these 20 paddlers cut down to 10. So 50% of these paddlers paddling now, we will see again. And 50% we will not see again until World Cup 2. So, yeah, it's hard. 3 rides, best 2 count. We're going to go back to the top of the order of Heat 2. With Bartosz from Poland. Bartosz, the paddler, the coach as well, runs Love It, Live It. If you've not heard of Love It, Live It, Google it. Bartosz runs several camps throughout the year all over the world, including the Zambezi and awesome places. So Visa's, the judges are still figuring out Visa's final score, but you know, looking around that 770 mark, that's going to probably put him kind of straight up into kind of 4th place at the moment.
The score coming in with the 776 points.
Nice. Yeah, Visa moves straight into 4th place after his first ride, so that's pretty solid. And he still has another 2 rides to go as well. As we move back to the top of the order with Bartosz.
We can hear all Bartosz's friends cheering him on as he smiles, getting ready for his 2nd ride. Dropping into ambush, looking for his first trick, going in straight for an air screw. Air screwing in the other direction. Surfing it around. Going in for a nice blunt McNasty. Going for another blunt McNasty, but not yet getting the McNasty initiated. Going in for the back blunt. Going for a back blunt again to the other side. Setting up, going for a Pan Am. Then going in for a McNasty to end his ride. Nice ride from Bartosz.
Yeah, that's a better ride from Bartosz. Real nice. Loads of moves actually there in the 45 seconds. He made sure he made the most of every single pass. Over 800 points it looks like for Bartosz. So already in this 2nd heat, you can see the scores creeping up. You know, potentially overtaking quite a few of the paddlers in the first heat, and generally that's how it goes. We're going to wait for this score to settle and see what it comes in at. Bartosz's first ride was 485 points, so that'll be added to this one, and that's going to put him, potentially in top spot, really. That was a really good second ride from Bartosz, and that is pressure off a little bit. 3 rides, best 2 count. You have a throwaway ride, which will for sure he'll want his first one to be a throwaway ride, because another one. If he can do another ride of this, around the 800 point mark, then that would give him around 1,600 points, which would stick him straight up into the top 10, going on off the scores from the prelims. So in 10th place yesterday was Caleb Grady with around 1,400 points. So if Bartosz, he knows he can do it. He's just shown us he can do it. So if he can do another ride like that, that will for sure put him in contention for the semi-finals. The next paddler in this heat is Nathan Hefford, who didn't have the best first ride. So let's see what he can do. I've seen him in practice throwing down. He's got a real snappy air screw both ways, and also really nice blunt McNasties as well. So he's just going to want to put those in his rides with a few back blunts, a few front blunts, and then he's on for it for sure. So exciting to see what's coming up. The sun's just gone in here behind some of the clouds, which is actually quite nice, just a little bit less intense, the heat. Okay, Bartosz's second ride comes in at 848 points, which puts him straight up to the top with around 1,300 points on the board.
Next up, we have Nathan from Great Britain.
Yeah, Nathan, let's see what he can do. He had an unfortunate flush in his first ride, so let's see.
Going in for the air screw to start off his second run. Setting up, maybe going for a blunt there. Going in for another air screw. Going in for the blunt McNasty, just unfortunately flushing. Let's see if he can get back up there.
Yeah, that is an unfortunate flush. That happened on his first ride as well. So his air screws are real nice. It's the blunt McNasty that at the moment is tripping him up. I think that was the 10-second buzzer we just heard.
Going in for the other blunt the other way, then going straight into a back roundhouse back blunt, then going maybe for a back loop. And going for a nice McNasty at the end.
Yeah, this wave is kind of bittersweet. Sometimes you can really throw down and it's nice and retentive, and other times it just feels like you do the exact same thing and you just wash off. It's difficult.
Nathan's ride coming in with a 526 combined.
Yeah, okay, so that sticks Nathan into 9th place after his second ride. We move on to Harry Price. Harry scored 655 in his first ride. So let's see what Harry can do as he travels down towards the feature. We're not seeing that right now. There we go, okay.
Harry dropping in for an entry move, going straight into a back blunt, then air screw, trying to get all his tricks, going in for the air screw the other way, just making the feature, surfing it around, coming in for a nice, beautiful, clean loop. Going in for a blunt McNasty, pulling it around. Will he stick the feature? Nice job, Harry. Going in for the blunt McNasty the other direction. Going around for a nice space Godzilla. Going in for a back blunt. See what we can do on the last trick. Going for a nice back Pan Am.
Wow. Okay, that's it. That's the Harry Price we know. That's a really solid second ride from Harry. Another ride like that, and yeah, he would be hot in contention for a top 10 place, which is what he will need if he wants to place in the semi-finals. So it's really interesting now, and this kind of second heat in quarterfinals. This is what we see. We see the guys that didn't quite make the top 10 yesterday in the prelims, really pulling everything out they can to get a place into that top 10 position. So huge aerial clean front loop there. I think from what the judges are calling huge on this feature, I think that loop would have been huge for sure.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, Harry's score looking to come in at around the 990 points. Could it push over 1,000? It might do. If it does, that will put him straight up into first position. Let's see if it will give him more than 1,400 points. That's kind of our guide going off yesterday's qualifiers. So let's have a look and see what that will be. Obviously, the judges just deliberating over some of those moves, some of the angles, maybe some of the bonuses like the huge. Because okay, wow, there we go. Okay, so 1,600 points now Harry has, which is good. That's good for Harry Price. Going off yesterday's results, that would have put him. That would have put him at around. Yeah, that would have put him in 10th place yesterday. Okay, so yeah, he's with those two rides. I think it's fair to say that he could be kind of bubble boy right now. So he's got another ride though to come. We're going to move on to Tom Doll.
Tom Doll from France dropping into the feature, going for a nice entry move. Coming into a nice air screw. Going for the air screw the other direction. Going in for a clean blunt into a back blunt. Surfing around, going for a back blunt the other direction. Going in for a nice snappy McNasty. Going in for a McNasty the other way, just missing the feature. I think he's going to wave it off.
Yeah, I think just catching a bit too much green water on the hull of the boat there and just pushing him off. You have to be super light on your toes in this feature, and sometimes, you know, the flush happens and it's unfortunate. Tom, I think that probably would have maybe scored better than his first ride, which was 390. So yeah, pretty sure that's a better second ride for Tom.
His score coming in with a 550 points.
Okay, yeah. So that puts Tom in a combined 940, puts him in 5th place. All right now. So the little 3 you see up there means that's where his position within his heat. But overall rankings in the quarterfinals here, he's in 5th place. So Visa, here we go.
Visa dropping in for a nice clean blunt. Going in for a blunt the other side. Surfing it around, getting ready for his next trick. Going in for a nice, beautiful air screw. Going again for a back blunt, straight over the top. Going in for a nice Pan Am. Going for a back Pan Am, trying to get all the high scoring tricks. Going in for a blunt McNasty. Just maintaining the feature, nice job. Going in for the blunt McNasty the other direction. He's going to give a fist bump for that ride.
Yeah, Visa's ripping it up out there. His first ride was was good. It was 776 points, and this one, you know, the scores are going up. It's going to be a similar score. So Visa being really consistent out there on ambush, and he looks like he's really enjoying himself as well, which is good to see from these paddlers. So it could be stressful competition, and when it's all going well, it's super fun and enjoyable, not quite nerve-wracking. So it's good to see these paddlers enjoying it, and even when it's not going that well, you know, it's good to be out here amongst friends and fellow competitors. So we will be going back to the top of the order for the last rides of the quarterfinals here, of heat 2, and then we have another 2 heats after that. So Visa looking like he is going to exceed his first score. The judges still confirming, but he should be super happy with that. That's good. Okay.
Visa score is still being finalized by the judges, making sure they get all the bonuses.
So,
His
nice.
score coming in with the combined 623 points.
Yeah. So that's put him straight up into second place with 1,600, real close to Harry Price there, just a few points out of Harry's ride. So both of those rides yesterday would have put them in the top 10 position. So we are going to move on to the top of the order again with Bartosz. Bartosz had an epic second ride. He'll be want to do that again, so repeat his second ride. That's what Bartosz is in his head. He's going to repeat his second ride.
Bartosz coming in with his third ride, going in for both air screws right off the top. Setting up, getting ready for his next trick. Going in for the nice blunt McNasty. Unfortunately flushing, but he is going to try to go as fast as he can on the surfer's right eddy.
Yeah, not quite getting the pop that he needed there to pull the bow round to retain.
Just about 10 seconds left. Going in for the blunt McNasty again. Maintaining it this time. Going in for the blunt McNasty the other direction. Just flushing. Giving a fist bump for that ride.
Yeah, Bartosz, it's so hard, this feature, if you have a flush, to get back in and throw down. Bartosz currently sitting in third position. It's a good place to be. I think that second ride will not be his throwaway ride. I think his first and second were definitely better. So his score of 1,333 will remain. But we will have to wait and see what the judges think. I'm not a judge. Paddler up next in this heat is Nathan Hefford from Great Britain. Now Nathan has had 2 rides so far that he would say has not gone to plan. He knows he can do better than what he has done in his first 2 rides. So let's see what he can do. He's got everything to put out there now. If Nathan wants a place in this semi-finals, it's a really hard cut. 20 paddlers straight down to 10.
Bartosz's score coming in with a 251, so I think he's going to stay with his first 2 rides.
Yeah. Okay, so eyes upstream now for Nathan. He's getting in the zone. He's flushing on his blunt McNasties at the moment, isn't he? Like, he needs to. His air screws are solid, really snappy, but let's see if he can get these blunt but nasties retained, because if he gets those both ways, then he'll get in the flow, and then, yeah, he'll put down a really good ride. Let's see what happens.
Nathan dropping into the feature. Coming in, going straight for the air screws, just like he's been doing for his other rides. Possibly maybe going for the air screw the other direction. There he goes, snappy. Surfing around, going for his next trick. Making sure he's in the more attentive part of the wave. Going in for the blunt McNasty. Just missing it again. He's gonna work super hard to try to get back up so he can throw a couple more tricks. Just about 5 seconds left. Coming in, surfing around. See what Nathan's gonna throw for us. Going in for a nice back blunt. And that's the end of Nathan's third and final ride.
Okay, Nathan, again, unfortunately, it was just a blunt. He was actually, that was probably one of the snappier and better ones that he's done during his 3 rides, but again, unfortunately, just catching too much green water and flushing off the back. So that'll be it for Nathan's third ride. Let's see where that puts him in the rankings so far. Okay, so up next we will have Harry Price, who put down an epic second ride. Harry is currently sitting in the top spot with 1,600 points. If he can put down another ride like his second, then it'll shoot him straight up there. Okay, so Nathan, second ride wasn't quite as good as his first and second, so he'll keep his first and second. So that will be Nathan's final score, combined 526 points for Nathan Hefford.
All right, next we have Harry Price.
Yep. Here we go. When Harry gets in the zone, he's in the zone. When he gets going, there's no stopping him. Here we go.
Going in for the entry move into a back blunt, then into an air screw, trying to get as many tricks as he can so maybe he can up his score even higher. Going in for the air screw the other way, just flushing, but he's going to try to make his way up as fast as he can.
Yeah, unfortunate flush from Harry there. I think flushing, you know, when you get into these semis and the finals, flushing is not an option. You know, you have to stay in the feature for the 45 seconds, but he's wasted no time getting back in.
Going in for the butt McNasty, butt flushing.
Yeah, you can see the frustration there from Harry. Now, we'll have to see what the judges, it looked like, because the score is going up, it looks like maybe they would have, even though there was a flush, he retained in the feature for long enough for them to score that blunt McNasty, and that's why the score went up suddenly, like quite a ways. So even though there was a flush, did he retain for long enough for them to score it? And that's what he'll be looking for. That's why he was paddling to stay on the feature. So. So guys, yeah, the next heat will be getting ready and warming up, and the next heat is we'll see Caleb Grady, we'll see Stephen Wright, we'll see Alan Ward, we'll see Dave McClure and Rob Crow. So Caleb from Canada, Stephen Wright from the States, Alan Ward from Great Britain, Dave McClure from Ireland, and Rob Crow from Great Britain. Super solid heat, that one. It's it's got some former world champions in it. It's got national champions in it. It's it's going to be a real fun heat to watch. So, well, we are still on heat 2 at the moment, with the judges just finalising Harry's third and final ride. Harry's currently sitting in the top spot, which is a nice place to be. Combined 1,653. So yeah, he'll keep that because his first and second ride were the better of the 3. So Harry's final score will be 1,653. Now yesterday, the 10th place was around 1,400 points. So going off yesterday's qualifiers, that would put him in his top 10 spot. So let's see what happens.
Next up, we have Tom Dole going in there for a nice wing over. Going in for the air screw right off the back. Going for air screw the other way. We see a lot of the men going air screw as the beginning of their rides. Going in for a nice clean blunt into a back blunt. Going in for a nice back blunt right after, just catching an edge. But he's going to try to go inside the surfer's left eddy. As we see not a lot of people go inside there. He's going to try to work his way up as fast as he can back up to ambush.
Yeah, that's a hard view. You've got to kind of battle his way across this kind of weird wave holey thing and then across into the feature, which he's done. And that buzzer.
And
all that effort to get back in, and then the buzzer goes. It's cruel sometimes. So that'll be it for Tom. I think probably Tom will keep his maybe his first and second ride scores. Going for a back loop way after the buzzer. That wouldn't have scored anything. Really nice wing over there. Entry move. Okay, up next, the final paddler in Heat 2 is Visa Rakola. Visa is currently sitting in second place with 1,623 points, so that puts him definitely in contention for the semi-finals. After this, we have another 10 paddlers to go, and these 10 paddlers were the top 10 from yesterday, so we'll have to see what is to come. Super exciting here for World Cup 1 on a feature called Ambush. Okay, Visa, let's see what you've got.
Visa dropping into ambush wave. Coming in for his third and final ride, going nice for a clean blunt and a back blunt right after. Getting set up, going in for a Pan Am the same way. Going in for a nice air screw, very snappy. Going in for a Pan Am the other way. Surfing around, going for his next trick, going in for a nice back blunt or Pan Am. Moving around the feature. Going in there for a nice blunt McNasty. And maintaining the feature. Going for the blunt McNasty the other way right after. And sticking it. And maybe going for a loop at the very end. Nice ride from Visa.
Yeah, another nice ride from Visa. We'll have to see if the McNasties, the score's going up, we'll have to see if the McNasties scored. It's hard with the angles. We'll have to see. We're not seeing exactly what the judges are seeing, so. But a good solid third ride from Visa. Okay, guys. So in just under 10 minutes, we'll commence with the third heat of the men's quarterfinals here, and in that heat we have Caleb Grady from Canada, Stephen Wright from USA, Alan Ward from Great Britain, Dave McClure from Ireland, and Rob Crow also from Great Britain. So stay tuned, guys. In just under 10 minutes, we will see those guys battle it out. They all want a place in the semis. They all want a place in the finals. They all want to win, but you have to get through these preliminary rounds first. Okay, Visa's third ride, not quite doing as well as his first two, so he'll keep his position, which currently he's in second place. Okay, exciting stuff, guys. So I think that's me. I'm out now to help support some of these guys. So you'll hear me no doubt again in the coming days. But thanks, McKinley Kate.
See ya.
And we'll be tuning back in soon.
Hey guys, we're back and ready for the, hold on, let's see, think
We should be getting into heat
third
three.
third heat for the quarterfinals of the men's K1.
Yeah, we're going to start off with Caleb Grady, followed by Stephen Wright from the United States, followed by Alan Ward out of Great Britain, David McClure from Ireland, and Robert Crow is going to close out this heat. And Robert is from Great Britain. Well, how much longer do we have till we get started? Another 2 minutes, it looks like. Our first paddler is going to be Caleb Grady. Many of the folks know Caleb Grady as being one of the, I think he's the headmaster of World Class Kayak. And he takes a group of kids, it's their school for a semester, and they travel around the globe paddling everything from awesome play spots to big water out in foreign country lands. So for those of you who are just joining us for this heat, this is the men's quarterfinal. Each of the paddlers will get 3 rides. The best of the 2 rides will count. So you can in many ways say that they get 1 ride to throw out. And McKinley Kate, when you're out there competing, you like to have that option, don't you? We all do.
Yeah.
So we're pretty excited to have everyone from the international kayaking world out here on the Chattahoochee in Georgia. Many of us who are local have cut our teeth and learned how to kayak on the Chattahoochee all the way from North Georgia down to South Georgia. I do a lot of it on the Atlanta section. And, well, this is your home river.
It is. It's super exciting to see everyone here. Saw a good amount of them in Nottingham for the other World Championships. So super exciting to get them over here and surfing on waves in my home river.
Yeah, I remember years ago we used to come out here to the Chattahoochee River and surf the wave down there. When they were talking about putting in a whitewater park, we thought, how could it get any better than it is? Well, it's better. We are pretty lucky to have this here. All right, Caleb Grady has gotten the green flag and is making his way to the feature for his first of 3 rides. He should be putting on a good show for us. He won the Canadian National Men's this year.
Caleb Grady getting pumped up from Canada, going in for a nice wing over to start off his first run. Going in for an air screw one way, maybe going in for the other way. Yeah, doing his air screw the other direction. Setting up, going for the nice blunt. Going for a blunt the other direction and a back blunt right off of it. Going in for a back roundhouse.
Oh, he's working his way back up in there. That bubble's tough.
And making it back into the feature. That was impressive. Going in for a nice blunt. Surfing around. Going in there for a nice Pan Am. Caleb Grady does a lot of big wave surfing, so you'll see him throw his big wave tricks on this feature. Going for a nice helix right after the buzzer.
Yeah, he's just showing off for us a little bit there. Show us what we can expect in his next round. So he's sitting at around 6:30 right now, and the score is bumping up and down. So we'll wait a few minutes here to lock in the final score. Next up is going to be Mr. Stephen Wright, who is no stranger here to what we like to call the wintering grounds here in Columbus. What do they call him, the mayor?
They call him Mayor Stephen Wright.
He and Puppy sit high on that throne. Keener's coach in the summertime and mayor of the wintering grounds. What I like most about Stephen is he's very likable, and he likes to make jokes about himself and others. He likes to say he makes others feel tall. And so for me, that's a great thing.
Caleb Grady's score is still being finalized by the judges.
All right, looks like he's coming in with a 6:58.33, and we are now waiting for Mr. Stephen Wright. Looks like he's got the green flag from the judges, waving to the crowd. Everyone is waving back, and here he goes, getting ready.
You have Stephen Wright with a massive smile on his face. He's so happy to be here.
With those flames on his helmet, he's going fast, just sitting still.
Most definitely. Dropping into the feature, going straight for a nice clean blunt. Going in for a back blunt right after. Still sticking the feature, going for a nice blunt right on the shoulder. Going in for a back blunt right after, getting all the tricks left and right. Then going for a nice big loop with the nice flames on his helmet.
That was a nice one.
Going in for Space Godzilla.
He's getting himself ready. Here he goes again.
Space the other direction. Definitely trying to get it both ways on every single trick. Going in for a nice back blunt.
He's got about 8 seconds left.
Going in for a big McNasty. With 4 seconds left, let's see what he's going to go for. The other McNasty and sticking the feature. Nice ride for Stephen Wright.
Nice, giving a big nod to the crowds. That was nice to see. Good job. For those who don't know Stephen, one of the other things that he's a 6-time U.S. National Kayak Freestyle Champion. I believe he's even got a Squirt World Championship in there as well. Yeah, Stephen's score is sitting there around 881. We're just waiting for that to be locked in.
Pretty nice solid ride for Stephen for his first run.
Yeah, that was real nice. Next up, we're going to have Mr. Alan Ward out of Great Britain. He's been, I think, on the team since 2002 and was the junior world champion in 2005. So he's been he's been competing for, geez, well over 25 years. We got some antics going on here in the crowd. People cheering him on. Well, looking at this replay of Steve-O, it's just impressive. It just looks effortless.
Here's showing his massive loop, getting a lot of air under that Rockstar V. The judges are still trying to get his score, making sure they get every single bonus.
He's thrown a lot at him, and what's very interesting about this feature is it takes a lot. When Steve-O goes out there and stays on, he's coming in with an 893.33 for his first ride.
Steven should be very happy with that score.
Yeah, I think he should be real happy with that. One thing about this feature is it's very dynamic. They make it look effortless, but once you get on that bubble, it just wants to take you off of it.
All right. Next up, we have Alan Ward from Great Britain, dropping in with that Gigi Pride kayak.
Nice looking boat.
Going in for a massive wing over. Going in for a clean blunt, spinning it around, going for a back blunt right after. Going for a nice clean blunt the other direction and back blunt the other direction. Getting his left and right tricks, getting some points on the board. Going in there for a beautiful air screw.
That was nice.
Going in for air screw the other direction, still staying in the feature. Going in for a massive clean blunt, or clean loop. Whoa, I can't talk right now. Going in for a blunt McNasty, trying to get the big points. Going in for a blunt McNasty the other direction, but unfortunately flushing, but that was still a really good ride for Alan Ward.
Alan worked that clock to the very end. That was impressive. It's hard to keep up with everything when they start linking it, throwing it that quickly. Nice. So Alan's over there in the eddy awaiting a score. He's sitting at a 9:05 right now. Just trying to catch his breath.
The slow-mo showing his nice clean blunts and back blunts.
Well, one thing that I'm reading here about Alan is he has a nickname. They call him Will Bum Ward. There's got to be a story behind that. All right, wow, there he goes again with a huge clean loop. That thing was impressive. One thing that you're going to see a lot out here on this river as you watch the videos of this competition, you're going to see something other than a Jackson kayak. A lot of these folks coming from Europe are paddling a Gigi prod. Not that normal here. All right, David McClure is going to be our next paddler up. He finished 4th at the Nottingham Worlds. He paddles for Ireland. All right, David's still awaiting the flag to give him the go-ahead to get onto the feature. Many of these paddlers have been here for upwards of 2 months training for this event, getting used to these
Yeah,
features.
David's been one of them. He got here super early, getting ready to train for this. And Alan Ward's score coming in with the 915.
Nice. Good first score. I think you'll be happy with that. All right, David's always got a smile, making his way to the feature.
We have Dave McClure from Ireland dropping into ambush. Going for his first trick is an air screw. Paddling straight back into the feature, going in for another air screw, trying to make sure he gets his blades out of the water. Going in for a Bullet McNasty, pulling it straight around. Going in for the Bullet McNasty the other direction.
He makes it look so good.
Going in for a nice Pan Am into a back blunt. Then going in for a roundhouse back blunt into a back Pan Am. Going in for a nice loop. He has about 5 seconds left to see what trick he's going to throw for us. Going in for the blunt phonics.
Well, he's sitting at 988. That just came at us so quickly. Such a nice ride. He's already broken 1,000, 1,200 now.
The wave monkey. David's score is bouncing around 1,200 points. We'll see what it finalizes at. But that was a really good ride from David McClure.
Yeah, David will be followed by Robert Crow. And then, again, this is the quarterfinals round 3. We'll have one more round after this, the quarterfinals 4th heat, rather. And these are going to be your top 10. And they're hoping they get to stay your top 10 today. All right, he's sitting at about 1,188 as they're working through all the flurry he threw them at the end. So our next boater that we're coming up with is going to be Robert Crow. He's coming out of Great Britain. He's a 5-time British champion. And the one thing that we have in common, or I have in common with Robert, is his love of pizza. It says here his favorite food is pizza, and I knew I liked this guy.
What's your favorite topping on the pizza?
What's that?
What's your favorite topping?
Green peppers and onions.
Ooh, nice.
Now, he and I could be doing pretty good with the pizza unless he wants,
Y'all should go
anchovies.
celebrate with pizza after.
As long as there are no anchovies. Yeah, I think so.
Uh,
All right, so 1,161 for David.
that was an amazing first ride by David.
I think he's in overall 4th place with just that ride, potentially.
Yeah. All right, we have Robert Crow from Great Britain dropping into ambush.
He's taking it slow. Wonder if he's going to give us a nice looking entry move here.
Going in for a nice entry McNasty.
Nice.
And maintaining the feature. Coming in for a nice air screw right off the back, surfing around, getting set up for his next trick. Going in for the air screw the other way. Getting set up, trying to get ready for his next trick, making sure to stay maintained. Going in for the blunt McNasty, getting all the high bonus score tricks. Going in for the blunt McNasty the other direction.
He's got 15 seconds left to give us some more.
Just slowly missing the feature. He is going to, I think, wave it off and save his energy for his next ride. That was still a really good ride from Rob.
Yeah, I think he lost the last 5 or 6 seconds, but still sitting at around 940. I mean, that's pretty good. Let's take a look at this again. Oh, look
Nice
at that.
blunt McNasty.
873. It's going up and down. So McKinley Cade, as we wait for his score to come in, you've got experience with this. What's it like sitting in the eddy waiting for that score to come in?
Well, you normally sit next to your coach or whoever, and you just like bite your fingernails and wait for the score to come in. But some of the times you have your other competitors, which are also your friends, cheering you on, giving you support. That's the cool thing about this sport is everyone is cheering each other on. You'll be in the eddy with everyone from around the whole world. Super
great.
cool.
Yeah, they help keep your jitters down, and he finishes with a 943 on his first ride. All right, so I believe we're going back up to the top with our Canadian paddler, Caleb Grady. Caleb is also not only an athlete here, but he doubles, I believe, as the Canadian team coach or coach from any of the Canadian paddlers. All right, he's got the green flag, and he's making his way out to the feature. So the judges are sitting a good distance from ambush. So instead of giving the traditional thumbs up, they wave a green flag to let them know when to get on the feature.
Caleb Grady always stoked to be on the water, coming in for his, I think, second ride.
Yep.
Going in for a wing over, coming in for a nice air screw, as he does a lot of big wave tricks because he paddles in Canada. Going in for the other air screw the other direction. Next, going in for a nice blunt, spinning it around.
It's getting settled.
Going in for a nice blunt the other direction. Going in for a really good blunt, back blunt. Surfing around, coming in for a blunt the other way. Going for a nice Pan Am.
He's doing a great job. He's got 2 seconds left to try and get something else in there.
And a nice helix right on the buzzer.
That's really good. All right, we'll see where he ends up here. Caleb's just kind of hanging out, using some of that time to get used to some of the uniqueness of that. Oh, he's giving us a show even in the end here.
And that is it for Caleb's second run.
So what's your favorite trick to throw out here on ambush?
Ooh, ambush, probably a McNasty, because when it comes around and lands, it's so nice.
Nice. All right, so Caleb's going to take a 658 on that second run, same as his first run, so he's sitting at 1,316. All right, right, Stephen Wright is waiting to get out there. Looks like he's getting the flag.
Steven just got the green flag from the head judge. Smiling, so excited to be out here.
Stephen has been known over the years as the man living down by the river in a van, an old Hostess van, nonetheless.
With a cute puppy.
Yes.
Coming in for a nice clean blunt to start off his ride. Going in for a back blunt right after. And then another blunt. Wasting no time. Going in for a back blunt right after. Surfing around. Getting ready. Going in for a massive clean loop. Getting set up. Going in for another loop. Possibly a Space Godzilla. There we go. Going for a Space Godzilla.
Getting ready.
Going in for a space the other direction. Going in for the McNasty right after. Nice snappy. He's landing straight. Going for McNasty the other way and still maintaining the feature for the whole 45 seconds. Nice job, Steve-O.
Nice. One of the big tricks out here to have, the trick to having a great ride is being able to retain that feature the whole time. Being able to optimize every second you have out there. So tell us, what's the difference between a loop and a clean loop?
So for a regular loop, you're plugging your bow into the green water and you're jumping up and snapping your boat out from under you. Then for a clean blunt, you do the exact same thing, but you're not allowed to use your paddle blade the whole time while you're performing the trick, which is really hard to do. And if you succeed with the clean, you actually get a clean bonus, which is actual tricks and more points on top of the loop.
Here we go with that clean loop again, so you can see that. All right, we're still hovering around there at the 800 for his second run. 840 now. Yeah, one of my favorite pictures I have at home is the clean loop being thrown and then my daughter just selling it with her hands, just sticking out of the water with the paddle.
Oh yeah, pinkies up.
Pinkies up. All right, we're just anxiously awaiting that score to come in. After Steve, it's going to be Alan Ward for his second ride. And remember, these guys each get 3 rides. All right, so his second ride comes in at 796, giving him a total of 1,690. I don't have the results from the first, but he's got to be close to that top 5. Oh, he qualifies into the first place spot at the moment.
Next up, we have Alan Ward from Great Britain.
Alan says his #1 sponsor is his dad.
Nice.
I can relate to that. All right. Alan is making his approach for his second run.
Coming in for the nice wing over, keeping his head dry out of the water. Surfing around on that shoulder. Going in for a nice clean blunt. Paddling it backwards, going in for a back blunt. Clean blunt right after, back blunt to follow. He's keeping everything moving, trying to make sure he can get every single trick he can. Going in for the really nice air screw. Surfing around, going for the air screw the other direction. Going in for a nice loop, but unfortunately flushing.
In the last seconds, I think he's waving the rest of his time off. He's sitting there with the 523 at the moment. So right now, your top 5 are Stephen Wright at 1690, Harry Price in second with 1653. Visa with 1623, Bartosh with 1333, and Mr. Caleb Grady from Canada rounds it out with a 1316. But we've got a lot more paddling to go till we get to the final. Now, when we were sitting in Nottingham for the World Championships, before David McClure would come up to paddle, the crowd was just screaming and yelling, and there was a loud drum that just beat the whole time. All right, so Mr. Ward comes in. Mr. Alan Ward with the 14.15 after his second ride. The combination of a 9.15 and a 500. We're a little bit far from Ireland here, so we don't have that loud crowd. But I know they're cheering at home for Mr. McClure.
We have David McClure from Ireland dropping into the feature, going in with a nice air screw to start off with, both ways, surfing around, getting set up, going in for the nice blunt McNasty, pulling it straight over the top. Going in for the blunt, just catching an edge, but he still stays into the feature. Going in for a blunt, pulling around maybe for a McNasty.
Kept himself in the feature.
Surfing around, got a nice back Pan Am and back Pan Am. Surfing around, going for a back Pan Am, making sure to try to get the higher point tricks.
5
Staying
seconds left.
in, going in for the blunt McNasty right on the buzzer. Nice job,
Wow.
David.
Made good use of those final seconds there, not leaving anything to chance. What do you think that is hugging his boat?
It's a sloth.
Ah. It's kind of ironic that he moves so quickly, but he's got a sloth on his boat. He's such a smooth paddler, just watching him out there. All right, 865 looking to combine and break up into the top 10. Wow, 2026. Where's that putting him now?
I think that's putting him into first place.
Is it for? Oh, yeah. I think so.
Nice job, David.
He's always the crowd favorite. No matter what country you're from, you can't help but not cheer him on. All right, we got Robert Crow coming up.
Rob Crow from Great Britain. He's going to come out here and show us what he got.
All right, he's coming on here. He had 5th place in Nottingham.
Dropping in, going for the nice entry 3 to start off his ride. Going in for the air screw. Surfing around, getting set up for his next trick as he goes for the air screw the other direction. Setting up on the shoulder, going for the blunt McNasty, pulling it down over the top. Surfing around, going for the blunt McNasty the other direction.
Nice.
Surfing around, going in for the back Pan Am. Rob is wasting no time, going for the back Pan Am the other direction with 9 seconds left. Surfing around, going for a Pan Am. Still staying in the feature, all just quite flushing, but that was a good ride for Rob.
Yeah, he should be all pretty happy with that. Yeah, he's showing us right now why he is continuously finishing in the top 5 of these World Championships. I think he just finished, his second run. So he's got one more run to go after this. His score right now is sitting around 9-10 for this.
The judges are still making their decision on what to give Rob for this amazing ride.
It says here Rob likes to play guitar. Maybe he can play a little for us tonight while we're eating pizza.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
$9.40. All right, we're getting to see a little bit more as he's sitting in the eddy waiting for his score.
His ride coming in with the 960, which combined is a 1,930 point.
That may put him into second now, I think.
It was a pretty good ride from Rob. Next up, we have Caleb Grady from Canada.
This is Caleb's third and final run of this heat. Slowing down.
Taking some deep breaths.
Yeah, he's ready to get after it.
Going in for a wing over to start off his third and final run. Going in for an air screw right off the back. Going for the air screw the other direction, making sure he gets all the tricks. Going in for a nice blunt to a back blunt. Coming in for a nice clean blunt the other way. Surfing around. Going in for a Pan Am.
It's getting set up for something else here.
Going in for a Pan Am the other direction, going big. 5 seconds left, gonna try his last trick, going in for the helix,
Oh,
but
unfortunately
just flushed. Fist bump for that ride from Caleb Grady.
He's taking a drink of that Chattahoochee. I'm sure it's really good to drink.
Maybe not.
I've had my share of drinking the Chattahoochee, and can't say that I encourage it, but I've lived.
His score going around 600 points. We'll see if it goes up or down. Hopefully up.
Yes, hopefully. All right, as he's awaiting his final score, Mr. Stephen Wright, the mayor of the Wintering Grounds, is awaiting his third and final run. He's currently sitting in the third spot with a 1690.
Okay, Caleb's ride came in with a 600, so I think he's going to stick with his first and second ride as his final score.
Yeah, and he's sticking in the top 5 there, too.
Next up, we have Stephen Wright from the US of A.
And I think we've got Puppy over here on shore cheering him on.
Stephen dropping into the feature. Let's see what he's going to throw down for us. Going in for a nice clean blunt to start things off. Into a back blunt. Surfing around, going in for a blunt into a back blunt.
Ooh, saved a flush there.
Going in for a nice back Pan Am. Going in for a massive, huge air blunt, or air loop. I cannot talk today. But he just had an unfortunate flush. He's paddling super hard, trying to get back up with only 12 seconds left.
He's got 8 seconds to get in there and get some more stuff done.
Going in for a nice air screw to finish up his ride. Nice job, Steve-O.
Yeah, making the way back up in that eddy, they make it look easy, but it's not. There are a lot of boils sitting in that eddy line.
Whirlpools,
things keeping you from getting back up in there. So, quite a battle. All right, Steven's going to wait. We're not the judges, but I think we could probably say it looks like Steven has a good chance of making it through the top 10. Currently sitting in third. He's paddling that nice-looking rock star 5. Yeah, I think Steven has 2 homes, Columbus and Ottawa.
Yeah.
And anywhere in between, but those are his 2 main places.
Yeah, it comes down and paddle in the winter a ton. We get really high water in the winter, so we get this wave called Southern Fried at like 65,000. So he comes out here and throws down on big waves, then comes up when the water's a bit lower and throws down on ambushed wave.
But it looks like Steve-O's going to stick with his 1690 after that ride. We get to see that huge clean loop again.
Next up, we have Alan Ward from Great Britain. I think this is his final ride of quarterfinals.
he goes. What's he got for us?
Dropping in with a nice wing over, surfing around, getting set up, going in for a nice clean blunt into a back blunt, going in for the clean blunt the other direction, and then spinning it around, getting ready for his next trick. Just having an unfortunate flush, but he's going to paddle as hard as he can to get back up on the surfer's right eddy. Coming back into the wave, going in for the air screw, then air screwing it the other direction.
He's got about 10 seconds left to get some more in there.
Going in for the butt McNasty, just pulling it over the top. We'll see if he can stick it. And that's Alan's third and final ride.
It'll be up to the judges to see if that sticks. I'm not really sure where the cutoff line is. Do you think he maintained that? I mean, we're not the judges, but it looks like he might have.
Yeah, we'll see what the judges give him for that amazing ride.
All right, so our current top 5 is David McClure with a 2026, Robert Crow with a 1930, Stephen Wright with a 1690, Harry Price with a 1653, and Visa with a 1623.
Next up after Alan, we have David McClure, which is the leader right now. So we'll see what ride he's going to throw down for us next. Still waiting for Alan's score to come in.
So your next round, in the next heat coming up, we're going to have Gavin Barker, Thomas Skoblinski, Mason Hargrove, Dane Jackson, and Nick Troutman.
Alan's Ward's score coming in with a 557. So he's going to go with his first and third ride with a 1490.
Keeping him in 4th place at this time. All right, David is on his way.
Just got the green flag from the head judge, making his way downstream. David dropping into the feature, going for a nice entry 3. Going in for a blunt McNasty right off the back. Going in for another blunt McNasty right on the curler.
Oh.
And he still maintains the feature. Going in for a wave monkey. Going in for an air screw, getting all the really high scoring tricks. Going in for the air screw the other direction. Going for a nice Pan Am. Going in for a back roundhouse, spinning it around, getting set for his next trick. Going for a loop. Just 3 seconds left. Going for his last trick, maybe looking for a back loop. And that is David's third ride.
I think today has been nice for these paddlers. They've actually been hitting that wave monkey. I think a lot of folks were trying it yesterday and not getting it. Looks like they figured it out.
We'll see if this ride is going to top his other 2 really high scoring rides.
I know that David would probably like to see that score go up, put himself even more firmly into 1st place, make it harder for the next round to unseat him. Who knew sloths could fly? All right, after David's ride, we've got one more paddler in this heat, which is Robert Crow. Robert is currently sitting in second place with a 1930, and he's going to be looking to improve that score. In 2017, Robert was fourth in the Argentinian World Championship. All right, we're waiting patiently to see where David's score comes in.
We're still waiting for David's score to be finalized. The judges are making sure they get every single point.
All right, at the finish of this round, we'll be getting ready to get into the final heat of the quarterfinals, which will be coming up probably about 10 minutes after this heat finishes. But we'll have more information here on that momentarily.
All right, David's score coming in with the 898. So his final score will be 2,060 points.
Yeah, so he improved his score by, I think, about 24 points, something like that.
Next up, we have Robert Crow going to come in and throw his final ride for the men's kayak quarterfinals.
Yeah, Robert would like to happily put himself on top of this heat, sitting in first place. And
Let's see what he throws down.
Yeah, he's got what it takes.
We have Rob dropping in, going for a nice entry 3 to start things off. Surfing around, going in for an air screw. Getting set up, going for the air screw the other direction, not wasting any time. Going in there for a nice blunt McNasty. Staying inside the feature. Let's see what trick he's going to throw for us next. Going in for the blunt McNasty the other direction and still maintaining the feature. Coming in for a back blunt, surfing around, going in for the back blunt the other way, maybe a back Pan Am. Surfing around, going for an air screw. Air screw the other direction. And maybe going for a wave monkey at the very end of his ride.
All right, that was a pretty good run thus far for him. We'll see where the score finalizes. I think one of Robert's big ambitions is to keep learning. It helps him get better at things. It just keeps the sport and life interesting. 1,110.
I'm excited to see all these paddlers throw down in good wave, which is happening in the next couple of days.
That's going to be awesome. Such a great feature. This one's good, but the world's going to get a chance to see good wave.
Ooh, his ride score going up and down. We're going to see what it's going to end up at.
Wow. So do you think on good wave we're going to see higher scores or a little bit lower scores than what we're seeing here today?
That's a good question. I'm thinking some higher scores, but I mean, it's all up to the competitors.
Yep.
We're going to see them go massive. I've been watching everyone for practice rides, so it's going to be a really, really good competition to watch.
You can't even compare these two features.
You can't. It's two different things.
Yep. So it's very cool to have these types of features on one single river that's less. This section's less than a mile long, I think.
It is. After we get the score from Robert Crow, we will start our last heat of the men's quarterfinals, which is going to have Gavin Barker, Tomas, Mason, Dane, and Nicholas Troutman.
So what is it What's this Mason guy all about? You know who this guy at all?
Maybe.
I heard he's an okay paddler.
Yeah, I'm excited to see everyone in the last heat and this heat throw down and see what they have for us
Yeah,
in store.
The next 5 are your top 5 of this heat, and any of them can be sitting on that top spot.
Yeah, they all have the tricks to do it. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Tamaz is just throws huge.
Oh, you should see his loops. They're massive.
They are massive. And then you've got someone like Dane who, Robert Crow takes over first place with the 2,190. He's got to be super excited about that.
Nice job for Rob Crow.
So far, your top 10 is Robert Crow, David McClure, Stephen Wright in 3rd, Harry Price 4th, Visa 5th, Alan Warden 6th, Bartosz 7th, Caleb Grady in 8th, Eric Jackson in 9th, and Luke Pomeroy sitting in 10th.
We have the next heat, I think, starting in 2 minutes.
All right, folks, we're going to sign off for the moment. Get some drinks. You guys sit around, go get some snacks, and come back and pick this up here in a few minutes.
See ya.
See y'all.
Hey guys, we're back and ready for the 4th and final heat of the men's kayak quarterfinals. For this heat, we have Gavin, Tomas, Mason, Dane, and Nick from Great Britain, Poland, USA, and Canada. Super excited to see what these people are going to throw down for us as we finish up this quarterfinals. My name is McKinley Kate Hargrove, and I'm joined by
Zachary Zwanenberg from Canada. You heard a bit of my voice yesterday during the men's prelims, but you'll hear it again all day today.
All right, Gavin's waiting for the thumbs up or the green flag from the head judge. Getting ready to start off this final heat of quarterfinals.
And we've seen some pretty impressive scores so far today, but I do believe that every single person in this heat is capable of filling those top 5 slots again as they did yesterday.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see what they have in store for us. Okay, we have Gavin Barker dropping into the feature.
All right, looks like he's backing in, potentially looking to get some form of entry move. There's the entry 3 attempt there. Trying to set himself up for first trick, going for a air screw to the right, managing to retain it, going the other direction. Torquing out his boat a little bit, but we'll see if they score that at the end. Blunt McNasty to the left. Beautifully done. He's probably going to look to set up the other way like he did in the yesterday's. Unfortunately, doesn't quite get the pass on that one. Looking to set something up backwards. Looking for a back blunt, potentially back Pan Am, depending if they got the oververt angle on that. Going for the blunt nasty the other direction. Unfortunately, the flush. Let's see if he can get back up with 8 seconds remaining. All right, he's trying to get the plug just before the buzzer. We will see. I'm not too sure if that came in before or after. We'll have to find out what the judges call on that.
Yeah, that's a nice ride from Gavin. This is just one of his 3 rides, so we'll definitely see him try different tricks in his next rides.
Yeah, and as we know, it's 2 rides or 3 rides, best 2 count. Gives people 1 ride to fall back on, but you're going to see some crazy high scores as we've seen already from the likes of Robert Crow and David McClure. So you're seeing in the slow-mo replay as he goes for that right air screw, keeping the body nice and high out of the water almost the entire rotation.
Another nice air screw from Gavin.
So in this other direction, we'll see if they counted, but an air screw, you do need to land with your bow facing within a certain amount of degrees upstream. So you have to be careful not to let the bow fall sideways as you land out of it. A lot of these tricks have very strict, very defined technicalities and angles to land them throughout and score them. So it allows for, it makes very, very, very tricky for a lot of these athletes to pull them off, especially on a feature like ambush, which requires a lot more technical skill versus a larger wave, which lets you bounce up high. And there was that beautiful blunt McNasty. One of the highest scoring tricks of the competition at the moment.
Yeah, the cool thing about this feature is that you can do both wave and hole tricks, so you'll see them put together different tricks. They'll do blunt McNasty, which a McNasty is normally more of a wave trick or more of a hole trick. So they're going to put different tricks together and see what link bonuses they can get. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen many different strategies, including Audley yesterday in the women's class, who chose to mostly opt for hole tricks, and we saw that reward have a great reward for her with pulling in that first position.
Gavin's ride coming in with a 873.33. That will be it for his first ride out of 3. Next up, we have Tomas from Poland. Looks super excited, ready to get on the water and show us what he got. Tomas coming in with an entry 3, going for entry McNasty. Pulling it around, going for a nice, massive air loop, maybe possibly clean. Going in for a big Space Godzilla right off the back. Surfing around, going for a Space Godzilla the other direction. Surfing it around, going for his next trick, going for an air screw. Going in for the air screw the other direction, making sure to get all the tricks left and right. Going in for the blunt McNasty and staying inside the feature with just 8 seconds left to go. Going in for a roundhouse McNasty. 1 second to go. And that's it for his first run. And going for a back loop just for the crowd.
Yeah, Thomas Duplessis is a powerhouse in the freestyle scene, coming in second in the Nottingham 2022 World Championships. He's rocking that beautiful G-Power carbon paddle there. So light, you barely feel like you're holding anything when you're paddling them. They're really incredible paddles.
Next up after Tomas, we have Mason Hargrove from the United States of America.
Right there, we just saw the huge clean loop, keeping the paddle nice and dry at the end of that loop.
He gets so much air under that kayak.
He's one of the few people we've seen really pull off some of the absolutely massive loop hole tricks, almost if not bigger in this feature than we even saw back in Nottingham, which was a strictly hole competition. It was really cool, as we mentioned, to see them athletes mixing up those the 2 disciplines into one routine.
Score coming around 860. Still waiting for the judges to finalize it. Okay, Tomas' score just came in with 870 points for his first ride of 3. Next up, we have Mason Hargrove, the United States of America. He lives here, so hometown hero.
All right, so here comes Mason. He's dropping into the feature. He's going to be looking to score same, if not bigger than yesterday's. Starts off the huge entry right into a back blunt. Throwing to the left air screw, keeping it super dry. Right air screw to the right that time. Throwing right away into the blunt McNasty. Absolutely massive scoring trick to be thrown right off the bat. We should see a really nice score off of this one. Going the other direction, managing to maintain it. Now he's going for the next thing, going for a massive Pan Am into a back Pan Am the other direction. This is going to be a monstrous ride for Mason. Plugging for the loop, nice and clean, keeping the paddle dry. This has been absolutely incredible. Looking maybe for the Space Godzilla. There it is, landing it. 5 seconds remaining, and he's not even done yet. Back loop. Can he stick it? There he does. Yeah, he's going to be really, really happy as he shows the peace sign to the crowd.
Proud sister moment.
Yeah, definitely.
We have Mason's score going up and down, seeing what the judges are going to give him.
So far, looking to be the highest scoring ride that we've seen today in the quarterfinals. With one ride, we'll put him into the top 10 at the moment, and if he can put together another one very similar, we'll at the moment we'll see what the other paddlers have to say about this. But at the moment, we'll be able to put him in first place with another ride like this. And there you see the picture-perfect blunt McNasty. And there's the other direction.
Next up, we have Dane Jackson, who does not need any introduction.
Yeah, Dane being a multiple-time world champion, winning the last world championships in Nottingham, and he's not going to be coming in here without a fight, so we're going to be really excited to see what he can throw down for us today. Highly expecting some good scoring rides. And the score is looking at almost 1,400 points for Mason Hargrove's first ride. And he's still got 2 more to show that one up. And so remember, these two, they're combined scores. So with another ride like this, it'll put him cleanly in the top place. Absolutely phenomenal ride. Still not quite locked in yet. We haven't seen the score lock into the position, but he's going to be absolutely stoked.
Mason's score finalized with 1,400. We don't see it on the screen right now. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, we're just going off of the in-person announcers, so we'll hope to see the total results once they put it up on his second ride. But that is absolutely incredible. So next up, as we mentioned, Dane Jackson getting ready, lining up for the space, waiting for the green flag from the judges. And he watched Mason and he's like, you know what? I bet you I could beat that, but we'll have to see that. Mason put up one hell of a show on that one.
Dane's just waiting for the green flag or the thumbs up from the head judge right across the river.
All right. Well, while we wait for the green flag, we'll like to thank Georgia Power for the incredible water that they've been able to give us all week, and they're going to be also responsible for allowing us to have good flows for next year's World Championships. Without them, there'd be absolutely no way we can host an event like this, so huge thanks to them. There comes the final point, over 1,500 points at 1,541.67. Easily the highest ride, I believe, that we've seen today to date at this competition. That's incredible.
All right, next up we have Dane Jackson from the United States coming in for his first ride of quarterfinals, dropping into the feature, going straight in for a massive air screw, air screwing it the other direction, not wasting any time, going in for a nice clean blunt into a back stab, going into a back blunt, surfing it around, getting set up for his next trick, going for a nice clean blunt the other way, going in for a Pan Am, setting up, going for a Pan Am the other way, trying to get his left and right tricks. 10 seconds left, and he just got a massive, clean, possibly huge loop. Surfing around, and his last trick going for a McNasty, and then a Space Godzilla right after the buzzer.
I'm sure it's not quite the ride he was hoping for, but already over 1,000 points on one ride. Doing 2 of those currently puts you solidly in the finals for tomorrow, or semifinals for men's tomorrow morning. So we'll see what he can pull off in his next rides.
Next up, we have Nicholas Troutman from Canada. After this, we will start our heat list all the way back up with Gavin.
Yeah, Nick Troutman, an absolute master of waves, managing to come in second at our Canadian national team trials earlier this year. Also competing at Nottingham World Championships. He's going to be looking to show everybody what he can do on a wave at this and a World Cup final later this week. And again, Dane's ride was, again, really massive. So we're seeing a good long wait as the judges tally up, make sure they got every little detail right for his final score. These paddlers are throwing so many tricks so quickly and with such complex bonuses added to them that the judges have an incredibly difficult job scoring everything live. So there's always some adjustments, as you see during the live, as the head judge goes back, as they re-examine the scores that they gave, and they come up with the correct score for the ride. It's currently hovering at the 1150 mark. We'll see if that changes in a bit. And there was a look at one of his back Pan Ams. Again, Pan Ams do require air. It requires that there is air of the boat during the trick. So it makes it a very difficult trick on a slow and much more technical feature like ambush here.
Our scores came in with 1,106 points for his first run. Not too shabby.
Definitely not. Another one like that, and he's solidly in. I don't know necessarily what the current cutoff is, but it's
I'm pretty sure that makes him already in the top 10.
Definitely pretty high up there.
Next up, we have Nick Troutman from Canada. This is the last person of our fourth heat, and then we'll start back up from the beginning.
All right, as he drops in, going for the entry wing over, it is shiny red metallic Jackson. Going for the air screw to the right. Looking to set up possibly for the air screw the other direction. There it is. Coming around nice and clean. Looking to maybe set something up backwards. Maybe we're looking at a back Pan Am. There it is, back Pan Am to the left. He's going to be looking for the other direction as well. We've seen him throw some absolutely massive tricks. There's the back Pan Am to the right. Picture perfect. Looking for that shoulder. Looking to set himself back up on the top for another pass. Choosing to plug for the loop instead. Looking for finding the right opportunity to get those points in. There's Blunt McNasty number 1. He throws it to the left. He's going to immediately go into the Blunt McNasty to the right, landing it, staying in the feature with 0 seconds left on the clock. That's going to be absolutely massive as the scores tally up. They're already going over 1,000, 1,100, 1,150, 1,200, 1,230. They're
Nice
just
ride
climbing.
for Nick.
All right, here on the replay, we're seeing a picture perfect wing over, which is an entry move. The bonuses and the reason we see some of these entry moves is your timer starts when you maintain a surf on the feature. That means that if you can perform a trick as you come into it, you are technically having points before the buzzer starts or as the buzzer starts, letting you gain that additional time for the rest of your tricks throughout the ride. Absolutely flawless back Pan Am. Nick showing that no matter how big of a wave, you can get that boat way up in the air.
All right, we're still waiting for the scores to be finalized for Nick's last ride of 1. Coming in around 12,080. We'll see if the score goes up or down. Hopefully it goes up. Showing how he gets his boat out of the water, showing the sparkles shining through the sun.
Yeah, and it's an absolutely beautifully sunny day here in Columbus, Georgia. We can't have asked for better weather, especially with the hurricane that we were fortunate enough to avoid on this area.
This is a trick that we have most of the men throwing, is a blunt McNasty. So it's a blunt linked to a McNasty, and we've seen a lot of them go huge.
Yeah, we like to call it one trick. We like to combine multiple tricks into one name. But essentially what they are is, as you mentioned, it is 2 separate tricks linked together. We just like calling them some fancy terms.
All right, Nick's score coming in with a 1346.
Yeah, he should be definitely happy with that first ride.
Okay, we're going to start up to the top of the heat list with Gavin Barker from Great Britain.
All right, he's lining up, rocking bib number 86, looking to most likely throw off with an entry move of sorts. We've seen 2 types of entry moves. We've seen the wing over where you flip over your paddle sideways, and we also see he's going for the entry loop, where you come in slightly backwards, flip around, and go for the loop. Starting off with a left air screw, going for the right air screw. That was incredible air. I don't even know if we've seen something that big. Into the blunt, nasty one direction. This has been textbook so far. Blunt, not looking like he was looking for the McNasty at the end of that, not quite getting the pass or the catch. Following it up with a back Pan Am to the left. Into a back blunt. Plugging for the loop. Sticks it, not too much air, but every point matters in these competitions. Now he's looking for the back Pan Am or the blunt McNasty direction, but unfortunately flushes on that stern end. With 0 seconds now, his score tentatively sitting at 953.33. And the sun is shining on his moth, I've been told, inspired boat. Absolutely gorgeous Geeky Prod carbon design.
All right, this was Gavin's second ride of 3. So we'll see what his score comes in. This round, we have 3 rides, the best 2 count. So the 2 will be combined, and then they'll show what you are ranked.
Yeah, and again, we just saw 2 air screws that I believe might have been some of the highest air screws on this feature we've seen. He managed to keep his entire body clear of the water the entire rotation. And you'll often see that a lot more on bigger features where you can get a lot more air, but here you really need to use your muscles and pull the boat up out of the water. And a beautiful Pan Am backwards to the left. And currently, we just heard on 10th place on the bubble is Alan Ward. I believe that Gavin Barker's second score combined with his first will most likely bump that off, but we'll have to wait and see until the final call from the judges. And there was that Blunt McNasty that unfortunately flushed because he landed a very stern heavy on that right shoulder, which is very unforgiving for tricks.
His score moving up and down. We'll see what it's going to be. It's probably going to end up around 1,000 points. 1,011 points for Gavin's second ride. So combined right now, his is 1,885.
Definitely enough to get him past.
Almost definitely. Next up, we have Tomas from Poland. Tomas wants his throw down, show us what he got. He's been here for a little while now, training. So he definitely knows how to do the moves and has enough time to learn the feature. All right, Tomas is going to go for an entry move, going to go for the entry 3, pulling it around nice and snappy, going in straight for a loop, showing us what he got, surfing around, getting set up, going in for the Space Godzilla, landing it nice and straight, going in for the Space Godzilla the other direction into some cartwheels, split wheels, going in for a nice air screw, butt flushing, unfortunately. He's going to paddle super hard to try to get up as he has around 15 seconds left. Plenty of time to throw a couple more moves. All right, just entered back in the feature, going in for the air screw the other direction, surfing around, going in for the Blunt McNasty, right on the buzzer, giving a good fist pump for that last trick. As we see his scores going up around 848 right now, but we will see what the judges give him for that ride.
And as we watch the slow motion replay here, as I mentioned earlier, he is no stranger to these world competitions, especially the World Cups. He's got a record of first at the SORT 2018 World Cups, first at the World Cup in 2016 in San Juan, and including a bunch of other competitions, including first the European Championships in 2018. And then one of the earlier ones, third at the World Championships in 2013 at NOC in Nantahala Gorge.
His ride just came in with a 845, so combined a 715. Guaranteed himself a spot in finals. Next up, we have Mason Hargrove, local champion, dropping in the feature, number 15, going in for a nice entry wing over, going straight into a back blunt, surfing around, going in for an air screw, going in for air screw the other direction, surfing in, going for Blunt McNasty right off the bat, going in for a Blunt McNasty move the other direction, not quite getting the McNasty initiated. There he goes, going for the Blunt McNasty, surfing around, getting set up for his next trick, going in for the lunar, but catching a flush. He's going to try to get in that maybe surfer's right eddy and work his way up as hard as he can throughout the boils and the whirlpools. And that is it for Mason's second run of 3.
Regardless of the score he got on this one, he's going to be stoked because even though the score on here was not as good as his first ride, combined will still put him way up in first position.
Mason's very color coordinated. I like to make fun of him because of that.
Yeah, the blue dry suit. You got a blue dry top, blue helmet, blue boat.
And then his dry bag's red to match his bill.
Oh, wow. There you go. They need to make a blue and red paddle for him.
They should. We have like all the pro kayakers are all matchy-matchy. So fancy.
We take our fashion very seriously in this whitewater sport.
Oh, most definitely.
And there, here in the replay, we're seeing his intro into a Blunt McNasty. Again, it's a trick we've been seeing quite a lot, especially from the senior men's on this feature. It is extremely high scoring, one of the highest scoring combos that you can pull off here.
He was a little slower than he was on his first ride. But look at this left one, McMaster, his second attempt, absolutely beautiful. The lunar orbit was interesting. All right, in first place.
Okay, Mason's score just came in with a combined 2,476 points, which puts him into first place. But we still have a couple more competitors that can take that spot. Next up, we have Dane Jackson from the USA coming in with his pretty pink boat, going in straight for the air screw one way and the other way, making sure not to waste any time, going in straight for the Pan Am, then going into a back blunt, surfing around, going for a blunt again, spinning it around, getting the spin bonus, going in for the back Pan Am. Going in for the Pan Am to the right and the left.
Those were so fast back to back. You could barely tell they were two different moves sometimes.
Going in for the Space Godzilla. Going in for the McNasty.
And he's still got time on the buzzer left.
And going for McNasty the other way with 3 seconds left, going straight for a loop. And that is it for Dane's second run. That was an amazing ride. Did not waste any time.
Yeah, with the 2 combined rides, including his first regardless, he is basically guaranteed a spot in finals at this point. We're definitely going to see him tomorrow morning. And there we just saw both air screws each direction. A little bit of off angle with the nose, but it looks like the judges did count it.
Score bumping around 1,100. We'll see what happens and what the judges are scoring for that ride. Showing one of his back Pan Ams.
And one of the things you'll see in this level of competition and with competitors like Dane on these waves is there is never a break. It is one pass after the other. There is very little, unless something does go wrong or the feature of the ball or the boat flattens out a little too much, you very rarely see people set up and wait for that next trick. It's one trick, lands, boom into the next one, boom into the third. It never stops for the entire 45 seconds.
We're still waiting for Dane's score. Sometimes the judges take a little while to make sure that they get every single point.
And next up after Dane, we're going to be going back to Nick Troutman, who's the current first place position going into quarterfinals. He's going to be looking to maintain that. He's going to be looking to beat Mason's top scorer. He's going to want to stay in that top position. Because remember, after semifinals, it seeds in reverse order, so first place always goes last. It gives them the opportunity to analyze what the previous competitors are doing and come in with a final massive ride if they're behind. It's very, very advantageous, and it's a position that you always want to have. All right, we're still waiting on the final score, I guess. They have took it away from our screen, so unfortunately we are in the dark. We are waiting to hear from the announcers on stage what the final score was set at. But in the meantime, I'd also like to thank a couple other sponsors, including Coca-Cola, including the Pezzled Family McDonald's. We've got Uptown, always Uptown in Georgia, the cities of Columbus and the city of Phoenix City, Alabama. When you put the word city in the name of a city, it can get a little confusing sometimes. you try to say the city of, and it's like, that doesn't quite work. But it looks like they did finalize the score. We unfortunately did not get to hear it, but we are right on next with Nick Troutman's second ride in the quarterfinals. He drops in with a beautiful wing over. Air screw to the right. Again, we've seen him consistently go for air screw to the right, air screw to the left. There it is again. Maybe looking to set up something backwards. As a back Pan Am, absolutely incredible air on that. Setting up the other direction, sticking both. Massive points in the first half of his ride. Going to plug for a loop, just pulling it around. That is a risky move, especially up there on that shoulder. It can easily pull you right behind. He's going right into the blunt McNasty to the left. Sticks it. Probably looking for the other direction here, and there he goes. Sticks it. He's got 4 seconds left. What can he show us in the last second? We'll see if they, unfortunately, even if he had put that in before the buzzer, did not pull around. He was looking for the wave monkey.
All right, we have Nick Chapman's score coming in around 983.33. We'll see what the judges will give him.
And
Well,
after
it's
this,
going
we'll
up.
be moving back up to the top of the order with their final rides of the men's quarterfinals. Afterwards, we will have a very, very, very short break as we move into the women's semifinals with Heidi Walsh, Miki Sato, I apologize if I mispronounced the name, Anis O'Donovan, Darby McAdams, and Courtney Karen. We're just seeing a score right now is hovering at the even 1,000 mark. There, it just broke at 1,016.67. Definitely with his first ride combined, putting him into the semifinals tomorrow morning.
All right, Mr. Nick's score coming in with 1,016, so combined 23.63. All right, we're starting back up from the top of the heat with Gavin Barker from Great Britain. Gavin's going to try to beat the top place spot, see where he's going to go in for finals. Going in for an entry 3 to start things off. Going in for a nice air screw the other direction, but just flushing.
Oh no.
Gavin going as fast as he can up in the swirly eddy, trying to get back up to the ambush wave because you can't score anything unless you're doing the tricks inside the feature. He still has 20 seconds, so we're going to see him do some more tricks. Surfing around, getting set up for his next one. Going in for the Blunt McNasty, but just flushing. 9 seconds left. I think he's going to wave the rest of this off.
So we'll see. I don't remember where he was positioned prior to this run. We'll have to see once they post this up. But this run is he's definitely not going to go with this as one of his 2 best. He definitely looked like he was struggling a little bit pulling around some of those loops. Your third ride, you are so exhausted. You've had 45 seconds does not seem long until you get on the wave. And it's so short, but the amount of energy you use during that. And looking like, regardless, he's sitting at 1885.
1885. Super fast.
Yeah, he's definitely in semis tomorrow.
All right. For his last ride, you have Tomas from Poland dropping in for his last ride of quarterfinals, trying to make sure he has a secure spot for finals tomorrow.
All right, he's about to drop in for his third and final ride of the quarterfinals. Right into a big front loop, lots of air, going for a Space God to the other. He's having a hard time, gets stuck on the edge. Unfortunate flush. He's still got 30 seconds to make his way back up. He's going to use all the power he can to make his way up and try to get some extra points. We're probably going to expect him to throw down some really big scoring tricks right off the bat so he can make up the lost time. Unfortunately, loses a pass, losing precious seconds. goes to plug in for a huge clean loop. Now he's continuously going for the hole moves, going for the Space God. Unfortunately, trying to cartwheel out of it and flushing. Again, very much like Gavin, I believe that he's going to be relying on his first 2 rides. And here we see as he comes in, pulls off the nice entry 3, going directly into a loop, which he obviously wasn't quite happy enough with because he went and did it again later on, that time scoring massive points on the air in this clean.
And this is where he caught an edge and flushed, but I think he's still going to be happy with his other rides together with a 17-15. Next up, we have Mason Hargrove from the United States of America dropping in for his last ride of quarterfinals.
And you can tell he's a crowd favorite here. We can hear the cheering and clapping through our headsets here on the live stand.
Coming in with an entry move into a back blunt and going for a McNasty, but flushing off. He is going to try to use all his might to paddle back up. Coming back into the feature, going for the blunt McNasty, pulling it around, surfing, trying to get his next trick. Going for the blunt McNasty the other direction, but flushing off. These paddlers are very tired from yesterday and today, paddling as hard as they can to secure a spot for finals. Just 5 seconds to go. Surfing around, let's see if he can throw one more trick, going in for the lunar loop, pulling it around, sticking the feature.
Wow. That was an incredible last trick, just to show off that, yes, he can throw that. I do believe we haven't seen anything like that attempted so far.
I have not seen any
at least here.
loops. Yeah.
It may not be the score he was looking for, but he looks happy, especially after comfortably putting himself in the top 3 with his first 2 rides. Regardless of what Dane or Nick want to do, Mason is in the top 3 going into semifinals tomorrow morning.
Mason's ride did not beat his other one, so he'll just stay with his 24.73. Next up, we have Dane Jackson and Nick Troutman, which can knock Mason off. So we'll see what they have in store for us.
All right, Dane's dropping into the feature. Starting off with a wing over. Looking to set something up here, going nice and deep into the trough of the feature, going for the air screw, going for the other direction. Getting a little more air on that second one. There he goes for the clean blunt to the right, going right into a backstab. He's not stopping here. Backstab the other direction. We're going to probably see him going for some of those Pan Ams exactly right there. Pan Am to the left, Pan Am to the right. Managing to stay in the feature. He goes for the McNasty, but doesn't quite get the pop he was looking for. Kind of flips upside down. Managed to stay in, though. Gets up with a nice loop. Now he's looking for that McNasty. Again, not quite getting the pop in the air that I'm sure, was looking for.
And that's it for Dane's final ride. We will definitely see him tomorrow.
Definitely, but he will, from that score, he will maintain his, unless some crazy thing happens with the scoring here, he will maintain his 3rd place going into semifinals, which will mean he'll be 3rd to last to go tomorrow morning. But next up, we're gonna be seeing the current first place position holder, Nick Troutman, looking to put himself back into that first place position. It's going to be a huge challenge after the scores that we saw Mason throw. And again, something that's interesting looking at Mason's score, he may not have had consistently crazy high scoring, but that only matters for qualifiers and quarterfinals. Going at start as of tomorrow, it's going to be single rides count. It's going to be your best ride. And seeing Mason 2 days in a row throw the consistently highest point ride, it'll be really incredible to see what he can do tomorrow.
All right, Dane's score is coming in with 900, so he's going to stay with his 21.16, which still holds him in, I think, with 3rd place. So we'll see him tomorrow. And next up we have Nick Troutman. We will see him tomorrow, but he's going to try to get that top spot. Nick Troutman in his sparkly helmet, sparkly boat, dropping in, going for a nice entry to start things off. Going in for a big air screw, showing us what he got. Coming in for the air screw the other way. Surfing around, going for the back Pan Am. Going for the back Pan Am the other directions, trying to get the tricks both left and right. Back Pan Am the other way. Going in for the massive front loop. Maybe a clean bonus on that loop. Going in for maybe a Blunt McNasty, not quite getting the bout initiated for the Blunt McNasty. Trying it again and sticking it. Nice job, Mr. Nick. That is the end of your third ride in quarterfinals.
And here we might see the score bump over the 1,000 mark, but it looks like he's probably going to be, again, sticking in the same position with his first two rides here. We will wait and see, but that is what it is looking at the moment. And now we're seeing him just paddling around, getting a bit of training for tomorrow at the end of his ride there.
Showing his beautiful entry move, keeping his head dry out of the water. And for his nice air screw. Next up after this, after we get his score, we are going to have women's surface semifinals. We're going to start off with Heidi, Mika, Anais, Darby, and Courtney.
And in respective countries, Great Britain, Japan, Ireland, United States, and New Zealand. And that'll be starting off in about 10 minutes here at 4:45.
All right, his score coming in, I don't think it beat his previous scores. I'm not sure, that was really fast. And first, Mason Harger from the United States. Second, Nick Troutman from Canada. Third, Dane Jackson from the United States.